The Shearer's Quarters project is one of many histories, most recently our own, but importantly, it does provide, as a place and a structure, evidence of so many histories that have gone well before. It's located on Wardle, an original land grant to Captain James Kelly in the 1820s, late 1820s, when he had developed a whaling station there, and then a small farmlet that grew into the farming enterprise that he had for many years. It's now a working sheep farm of 440 hectares, and it's been operated by our family. The building sits on the site of what was the old shearing shed that was burnt down in the 1980s, and for us, after many years of speculation, it was really a fragment of history that caught my attention, that became the genesis of this building. An old photo taken in 1940 when the property, who was already settled for over 100 years, showed the original house, the Wardle cottage, located as Kelly had built it on the edge of a cliff, and in behind it the old shearing shed. In a moment of speculation and a discussion with others, we couldn't see from this ancient old photo taken from the top of a hill, was it a skillion or a gabled structure? It sort of looked like some weird combination of both, and so that became the story of the structural form of this small cottage. It is both skillion and gable. Skillion, the most prosaic of the agricultural shed forms, and gable, and it translates from one to the other. It refers from skillion at its furthest western end, and then translates into a gable as it orients towards the Captain Kelly cottage, and a sequence of gables that are evidenced there to establish a dialogue between the two structures. It is both a slender structure that then broadens out to also suggest the nature of habitation within. And then a small inset veranda works within the orientation of the structure to draw light into the living areas from the north. It's a very singular structure. It started off really as with quite modest aspirations. We knew we were to restore Captain Kelly's cottage, which would be a large project, and we would need somewhere else to stay during that period of time. It's a small structure that sits principally in isolation. It aligns itself with a natural fall in the landscape, so it's a very topographical setting for the structure. But from there on, evidence of so many parts of our knowledge have come to bear. This was originally an apple and pear orchard as part of the farming enterprise for many, many years. And with that knowledge and seeking out of old apple technologies, which I started to collect from the now redundant small sheds of the apple orchards around the Huon Valley and on Bruny Island, I started to collect quite a mass of apple technologies, of packing and grading and sorting, box making machines and so forth. I have an extraordinary collection of that stuff. And I kept noticing throughout all these sheds, these beautiful packs of timber, brand new but 45 years old, left over from the time when England joined the common market and overnight stopped buying Tasmanian apples, and caused this massive industry of small family enterprise to cease. So here's all these sheds and sheds of boxwood ready to make the next day's boxes. So, as I said, many years old, but brand new. It had never been used. So that became one of the principal essays of that fragment of knowledge, and it lines all of the bedrooms or the cross walls throughout the house. And so it is a structure that responds to its many lives. It is a place where our family gathers, and certainly a place where our staff come regularly for our remarkable bruni making weekend. It's contained accommodation for the Utsen Symposium. Johanni Palasma and Rick Lepastri and others came and spent a week there. The Tasmanian Narratives, wonderful Tasmanian A gathering of architects have gathered there for over a few years now. A series of symposia organised by Architecture Media are now becoming a regular event there. It's now becoming a place far different from that we proposed when we first were attracted to it, as a place to get away from the madding crowd and the pressures of urban life and practice. It did commence with really a fairly modest set of ambitions. It was really a simple shell, but with this rather dramatic form. As I became more attuned to had a greater knowledge of the various skills available in this area, remarkable carpentry skills particularly, but also steel fabrication. You'll notice looking throughout there's some remarkable evidence of somebody using almost contemporary versions of blacksmithery to create wrought steel in a series of fabricated forms as part of the very detail intensive joinery fit out. It sort of grew in ambition. A remarkable window maker nearby made all of the window systems and shutters and folding panels in the house. The steel fabrication is both fireplace and hearth and bookshelves and other aspects of really quite delicate but sort of robust and agricultural application of steel crafting. So many of the aspects of the way the project grew from its infancy were really drawn on the enthusiasm of the knowledge and skills of many others. It's provided for us so many avenues of activity beyond its original status, which, as I said, was relatively modest. It's a small footprint, about 128 square metres, including the veranda. It sits on this expanded landscape as part of the latter agricultural landscape that had been established on the property in the 1830s, but still bears, I think, evidence of contemporary thinking on how materials can be fabricated, how they can, even in their most contemporary form, refer to a knowledge of history and all that has gone beyond and before in the continuum with which we place a contemporary existence. For us, it is also now a precursor and companion for the restored Captain Kelly's cottage. In many aspects of its adjacent Captain Kelly's cottage actually refer to our understanding of the region and the specific place that was brought from the research of the Shearer's quarters. The two there sit, I think, in concert with each other, and certainly share this open space of an open agricultural landscape perched on the edge of a cliff. It is very much established with the appreciation of the potential of a particular place. The two houses both resemble aspects of all that we've brought to the project, with this understanding of both the social and the physical histories of the site and the region, and somehow do both. They are extraordinarily local in their application and use of materials, and set the setting that they appreciate within a specific landscape, but somehow look beyond and imagine Kelly's gaze looking out from this very specific place to the world beyond.